Q&A. I think I did one last week, so this is actually pretty surprising that I'm trying to do them every week, but yeah, I'm actually pretty excited about doing one this week as well. So getting pretty close with the Charger station wagon, getting everything finalized and the brake lines and stuff. We're getting very close. So just waiting on the replacement fuel rails. I designed some. I had a flaw in my design, so I had to redesign that issue, and then I'm gonna have two sets sent. One for the one that's going in the other Magnum, one going in the Charger Magnum thing. I guess I'm still unsure. It is, the name of it's Rampage, but I just don't feel like if I said Rampage, people would know what I'm talking about. So yeah, pretty excited. I am actually getting everything ready to put back together the Jeep Grand Cherokee Trackhawk 6.2 BGE engine. So I was going to sell everything to a guy that I think he messaged me on Instagram or on TikTok or something, said he needed a bunch of stuff. And, I gave him a price, which was a really good price. I mean, I told him $2,000 plus shipping for the crankshaft in all 8 rods and pistons. So cranks, brand new from Dodge, and everything only had 3,000 miles on it, and it was all perfect. So I'm going to assemble it. It's going to be fine. But $2,000 for all that stuff. And then from Dodge, brand new, a crankshaft is $1,800. And each piston and rod from Dodge is $295 a piece. So, I was like, great deal. Then he says he's going to PayPal me, and he's like, yeah, I'm going to send over I think he said like $1,200 plus, like shipped, and I was like, no, not happening. But so then, in the meantime, I started cleaning everything and getting it all ready to assemble, and I'm probably going to end up Cerakoting a bunch of stuff, and I'm also going to blast down the block and re-Cerakote it so it looks brand new, because it all the coating on it is really hard to get off, but it kind of, I don't know, it just looks really bad. So I'm going to make it all look brand new, and pretty much it is all going to be brand new. I'm also going to take the crankshaft to a machine shop so they can add a Woodruff key, so then I don't have to do any of that pinning stuff, and then my ATI damper will be in the correct position since I have that spare overdriven one. So yeah, and then I don't know what I'm going to do with it. I'm just going to have a spare Hellcat engine, another spare Hellcat engine laying around. But let's see. Good evening from Florida. What's going on? What's up? Need one of the engines for my Jeep. Best life advice you can give your 22-year-old self. I don't know, if I could go back in time, and I don't know, it'd be kind of difficult because there's so much different thing. Like, if it was only life advice and not like secrets, I guess you kind of say, but I probably would start investing like in the stock market earlier on, because I really didn't mess with it too much until, I don't know, probably like 5 years ago or something. And it would have been a lot better. Plus, back when I was 22, when was that? That was a long time ago. But the market was super down, so I probably would have, invested in Tesla and all those good companies. But yeah, I mean, it's just kind of nice even if you just put in, like, I don't know, let's say 1,000 or like $100 or something, whatever you have a month, and you could just buy, depending on what broker you're going through, you could buy certain stocks, but do your research, because there's a bunch of stuff that you could buy stuff, and I've bought stocks that looked promising, and I buy a lot of, I don't buy a lot of penny stocks, but I buy some, and I buy a lot of like companies that I researched them and they look promising. And some of them actually turn out to be really promising because I bought fuel cell energy. I don't know. I bought it 3 or 4 years ago when it was like 25 cents or something a share. And then, it went up because they're doing the hydrogen fuel cells and they're getting a bunch of government projects. So it just made sense to buy them. But, and then I sold it for quite a bit of money. But just make sure you research stuff. And then, I don't know, I would probably say also, because when I was 22, I was working like 3 jobs. I probably would tell myself it's not worth working 3 jobs, and just kind of like, chill a little bit more because it's just, you only have so much time. And, working all the time, I work all the time. I would love to not have to, work all the time. Once the charger's done, I could go do stuff with it. But, you have to work to get stuff done. So I guess, I don't know. There's just, when you're older, you'll realize you're always going to be like, man, I could have done this. I could have done that. But if you always think about what you could have done, you're always, you're never going to be able to think of what you could do. So, yeah, I don't know. Don't dread it. Don't dwell on the past. It's not worth it. Let's see. I have a regular Jeep Cherokee two-wheel drive. It'd be sick. Do you have an estimate or a planned date to finish the charger? Patience is important, but I'm eager to see the finished product. Yeah, I mean, the sooner the better. It's just waiting on stuff. I mean, I got everything for the steering column, for the steering shaft today, and I just need to have send cut out some plates, which then that will be done. The steering shaft will be done, and then all I have left in the engine bay is some wiring on the ABS pump and on the engine. I'm going to add all that stuff from this Hellcat engine on the passenger side because it's all the correct lengths. And then the whole engine bay will be finished, and I'll do the headers, and then I'll have to do the exhaust and the fuel tank. And yeah, I think other than that, it's just interior and front windshield and stuff like that. And then paint the hood, but I'll wait till it's running and driving. So it shouldn't be too much longer, but I'm still, there's a few things I'm still waiting on. I'm going to call that drive shaft company tomorrow to see, last time I called them, it was like 4 months ago, and they said, oh, well, we're still waiting on some parts to make the drive shaft. So it's been 4 months. Hopefully they tell me the drive shaft's done, and all I have to do is pay them for it, and they could ship it to me. So then I'll have the front drive shaft. I have the rear drive shaft. Then I'm waiting on some pins, electrical pins, but I should be able to start the car without those because I've just kind of soldered wire and extended it, like made it go everywhere it needs to go. But I haven't, I want to repin everything so it's not extended by soldering it. It's just, everything's way too long right now. So then it's all nice and single pieces of wire and stuff like that. So it's not all a bunch of just jumbled stuff together. Let's see. A lot of people wasted time when you're selling stuff. Yeah, I literally don't sell anything because of that reason, because I go through like the whole process. I'm like giving somebody a great deal pretty much, 75% of the time. And then they like start to lowball you after you've already discussed price. It just doesn't make sense. So, plus when I buy stuff, I always need it. So I just buy it, but I don't know. It is the weirdest thing. Watching from the UK, came for the wagon, stayed for everything else. Love the workmanship, Dave. Quality takes time. Thanks. How much for a Hemi engine and trans plus harness? I really don't have anything. I have that one, that 16 Hellcat one, but I was going to put that in another Magnum and kind of just do like a sleeperish build. I'd I'd buy a new wiring harness and I have an ECU and stuff. I'd do like a full swap, everything that I have for it for like 17.5. So it has keys and all that stuff, which is probably the cheapest deal you're ever going to get. Let's see. I would about Yahoo's and eBay stock. Oh, I would have bought. Um, any timeline for the barn dominium house shop? So I think it's gonna be coming soon because I was watching the whole thing with that bank in Silicon Valley, and I think that's gonna start happening more and more. And now all those. So I think what's really gonna happen is like BlackRock and all those company that were buying all the houses up to rent. I don't think they foresaw that everybody that won't be able to rent those houses because they won't have any money to pay the rent. So they're not going to be able to pay. Like, it's just going to be like the same thing. It's going to be like worse than '08. And I've said this probably for a year now because it should have happened last year, but then the government put all the, all this cash into the system, and it just kind of held it off, and all these laws that they temporarily made. But yeah, I think everything's going to pretty much go down back to what it was. I'll build the barn dominium, and there's actually a guy locally that has a building that I want to buy, but he still wants too much for it. So he had the building. It's a 100 by 150 foot building, and he wanted like 1.2 million for it. And then now it's like a year later and he wants 200 grand for it. So it should be like 150 grand. Once it hits that, I've already offered it to him, but once it hits that, I need that building, and I need like 40 or 60-ish acres, maybe 100, and then we'll throw up a barn dominium. And I cannot wait because I have some really good ideas for how I want it to look, and how I want it to be inside and laid out. I pretty much want like the house part of it on like an upper, kind of like the second floor, and it only needs to be like 1,000 square feet, 1,500 square feet. I don't need anything crazy. I might have an extra, like a spare bedroom or something like that, or maybe like 2 bedrooms or something. I'm not exactly sure because the longer I do YouTube, I know it's, I want to collaborate with more and more YouTubers. So it'd be nice to have like a spot for somebody to stay if they needed to and help me out or do content or something like that. So I want it to be on the second floor and be like maybe on one end, or maybe be like on like an L or something, and then be able to kind of look out and see, and have like where you're looking, have like all the finished projects and stuff like that. I think it'd be really cool. So that's the plan, but we'll see once everything gets there, because I don't know. I'm the type of person that, it's weird because I'll buy like stuff that I need right now, but I really don't need to build the barn dominium right now. So that's why I haven't done it. If I did to, I probably would have already built it, but I'd rather wait for the prices to go down and then save. I mean, just waiting a year, everything's gone down like $500,000, which is crazy because some of the houses that I was looking at were like, they went from like $200,000 or $300,000 to almost $1 million houses. And I was just like, there's no reason for this. It's like a shitty house. And then I still would have to buy a shop and like build it on there. So, yeah. So hopefully I could, all said and done, build something for like, I don't know, 400,000 or 500,000, which would be really nice. So we'll see what happens, but I think it's coming. It just, it's already, I see repo trucks driving up where I live every day. They're always cruising up in the morning, cruising up in the evening, and coming back with people's cars. So, yeah, cars are like the beginning. You ever get that wiring yet? You helped, the wing wiring. You helped. No, so I 3D scan. I have a video where I 3D scanned that rear wing, and I just need to put my new computer together, and then I could edit it in CAD and then send it to Chad, and then he could have them produced. So really, what's the holdup on it now is I haven't, I've been messing with getting the charger done is like the main focus. That's why I haven't done the dash, because the main focus is getting the charger like running and driving. So I was hoping to make it to roadkill nights, but for some reason, instead of having it when they normally have it having it in, I think, Michigan, they're having it in Vegas at the end of this month, which I've said this and it doesn't make any sense to me. I feel like they just rushed it for just the sake of like rushing it. And I feel like that's like the end. It's like the end. But there's all kinds of stuff. There's Mo Party, Holly's throwing, so I should be able to go do that and do some other stuff. And yeah, it'll be cool. Let's see. Have you already figured out how to make the glass on the back door of the charger? Yeah, so all I'm gonna have to do is take it to a glass shop and they'll make the glass and I'll have it tempered. It's not that big of a deal. Dave, can you Hellcat swap a minivan since Tavares lied it could be the first vehicle that you made true? Well, technically I made the Charger true, which everybody when I first started building this project said it was never going to happen. But I thought Tavares was doing the minivan. I thought he had everything for it. I thought he had the engine. He was cutting the minivan apart. I talked to him about it at SEMA. He probably just did like a video to clickbait people because I know he does that a lot, but I thought he was like working on getting it done. So I talk to him every once in a while, but I really don't follow anybody's videos because I don't have time to watch a bunch of YouTube videos. So, yeah, I mean, I thought he was doing it. So the one thing I was going to do it before he did it. And then I looked at my friend's van because he had one. And I was like, I don't know how you're going to get all this stuff to fit in the front of the van without literally having to move the dash or something further back or extending the front end of the car because it's like a front wheel drive configuration and there's not any room or mounting the radiators and stuff in the rear. It just seemed like it would be a nightmare. So let's see. You can custom build a house. Yes. Do you still have the Challenger? Why not sell a few cars that's done and bring in the quick flip series? So, I mean, I literally have my Challenger Hellcat listed for sale. I think it has like 10,000 miles now on it. And I have it listed for 55 grand. And it's like, everybody wants to just trade me a bunch of junk for it. Just like, I don't know. They just want to trade. I had this guy saying he wanted to trade me a Honda Civic because it wasn't worth anything. And I was like, bro, your Civic isn't worth anything. Like it had like an eBay turbo kit and a bunch of junk on it. I was just like, and then like crappy diesel trucks. Like I had this guy wanting to trade me like a 6.4 diesel. I was like, no, I'm not going to like, what? I was like, how much cash are you going to put on top? Like 40 grand? He's like, no, my truck's worth, he said his truck was worth like 30 something, 39. And I was like, well, my car's worth 55. Like if it was a clean title, it would book for like in the 70s, I think, or like 69 or something. So I don't know. If somebody's interested in it, I mean, 55 grand, but if not, I'll just keep it. And that's like the reason why I keep a lot of stuff is like the GTO. I had this guy, I listed it for, God damn it. I listed it for, I think 17.5. And I had this guy, he said he'd give me 9 grand for it. I was like, for one, where are you going to find an 06 GTO for 9 grand? And where are you going to find one for 9 grand that made 500 wheel NA, like, and is like built really nice. So I don't know. I should have the new radiator for that this week too, and the radiator hoses, so I can start driving it again. I just been procrastinating buying that stuff because I really haven't needed it. But now that it's almost spring, I can start driving the GTO again. So let's see. Are you good with income stream? I worry about Trev. Yeah, Trevor's made a lot of bad financial decisions, but I'm not going to really go into that. And he's made a lot of bad friendship decisions as well. So I'm not going to go into that either. I had somebody that wanted, so when Sean stopped working for him, or whatever happened with Sean and Trevor went down. Sean wanted me to help him make a video. And then he was like, you should make a video as well. So I was like, well, I'll make a video. And then I talked to Chris and he was like, well, yeah, it'd probably be a good idea. But then Trevor was like, don't make a video. And then he posted videos. And I was just like, what? You told me not to make a video, but then you go make a video. And it just I don't know. It was just super cringy. And then he made one with Sean and was I don't know. It's just bad. So I don't know. I don't really talk to Trevor anymore. It just is better that way. He always comes over and he's like, oh, well, you want to be friends again and all this stuff. But then he goes and, he fucks somebody over again. And I'm just like, yeah, there's my point. So, I don't know. It's not my deal. I just stay out of it. And I just think it's funny, the people on comment on my videos sometimes every once in a while, because, I helped him build his channel and it was, I was on there for a long time. So there's some people that'll come over and be like, oh, well, you're only where you're at because of Trevor. And I'm like, I think that's the other way around. You probably should flip that. And there's another thing, all the videos he would edit it to make him look better. And it just kind of aggravated me when I was there. So, and it aggravated Sean as well, because he saw it, Ty saw it, Chris saw it. I mean, everybody sees it. And I think just some people are just kind of oblivious. So that's all I'm going to say on it. I mean, I should make a video, but probably just going to stay out of it and just, continue doing what I'm doing, because YouTube is a lot of work and it is kind of, I don't know, it's kind of financially draining depending on, what you're doing and how you're doing it, and if you're getting views and stuff like that. So, I mean, you're always putting a lot of money into it, but you have to still be getting money out of it. And hopefully it's, more than you're putting in it right now. And probably for, I'd say the past 6 months or to a year, I've been putting a lot more money in than I've been getting out. And actually it's probably been longer than a year, but I'm kind of gambling on, the charger doing well once it's finished. And right now, my videos don't really get that many views because it took me a month to wire up the charger. Didn't have a video for a month, and YouTube sees that, and then they don't push your videos. So it's, once I'm able to start doing content again and doing daily videos and doing some stuff with the charger, and, it'll be really nice again. But luckily YouTube isn't my only source of income. So that is a plus, but the stock market has also been pretty down for the past year or two, actually 2 years. So, it's kind of iffy. So we'll see. Oh. when are you going to start back on the Trackhawk? You mean the Durango Hellcat? Um, Probably pretty soon. Like I've said, I've been trying to get the charger done. I've been putting a lot of stuff that I need to do off. Like I need to put a bunch of stuff on the Grand Prix. I need to do some stuff to the Jeep. I need to do some stuff with my truck. I mean, um, so there's a bunch of stuff that I've been putting off because there's only one of me, and trying to get the charger done is really the main focus. Because if I don't get the charger ever done, which at the end of the day, I probably, like I've said in many videos, like the charger is mint. I mean, it's a really nice car. I took my time with it, but taking your time with projects on YouTube or social media is very, um, very draining for your channel, because the longer you take, the less interested people are, and they don't really see that. I guess they don't see the final goal. They don't see how much better something that takes longer than something that is done really really quick just for videos, because you never see it in person. So what I like with my car is when people see it in person, it looks better than it does on videos. Even though it looks good on videos, it looks way better. And people are like, oh man, this thing's like Superman compared to, I remember there was a B is for Build video, and I know Chris. I've met him a few times. I mean, I don't call him or have his number or anything, but I've talked to him, and I know him through other YouTubers, and we've hung out. But I remember that RX-7 that he did, and then the dude won it and got it, and it was like, man, this thing's a piece of shit. Like, I want my channel to be the opposite of that. When people see a car in real life, they're like, oh man, this thing looks great. So yeah, I mean, it's just weird, because I could do like TikTok videos and like Instagram videos, and they get millions of views, like millions and millions of views. But then I'll post the same stuff on YouTube, and it doesn't get pushed at all. Like, it doesn't get any views. It doesn't show it. Like, I've had subscribers tell me, and I said this I think in the last week's live stream, that they don't see my videos and they don't get notifications, and then they have to look up my channel. Some of them get unsubscribed from my channel and they didn't unsubscribe. And I have people say that they do get notifications. So I feel like a lot more people aren't getting notifications. But once the car is done, all that's going to change. So then I'll be able to focus on other stuff. And painting cars and getting cars ready for paint is pretty quick. So fabricating stuff from 100% scratch is just a very daunting task. Let's see. I have an all-wheel drive Hemi Magnum. What would be the best budget-friendly route to make some real power, say NA or boost? Your Magnum inspired me to want more power. So, I mean, you could probably put, I don't know, you probably do like some subtle mods, like headers, stuff like that. A bigger cam, get a tune, put some bigger injectors in it, and maybe gain like 100 to 150 horse, put like 100 shot of nitrous on it or something. But at the end of the day, it's funny because I was just looking at the quality of pistons from the 6.4 to the 6.2, and it's pretty crazy the difference in quality. Like the 6.4 pistons just look like complete garbage, but the 6.2 pistons, I mean, the quality of them is like, it looks like a forged piston that you would buy an aftermarket piston from like Manly. I think they're actually Manly pistons. I can't remember exactly, but they're like Manly or something like that. But they're forged pistons. They look really nice, and they make 700 horsepower on them, and they're fine. So, but the 6.4 ones, I think they start failing at like 700 horse, and they start having issues. And the Hellcat ones, you can make 1,000 on some stock internals, especially the Trackhawk ones, because they have the ARP 2000 rod bolts. So, yeah, I'd just do some subtle mods, keep it so you could daily it and not have any issues where you don't have to do a super complete build or something like that. Hi from Iraq. What's going on? Isn't Trevor the entire reason you are on YouTube? I remember the old days when you were on Trevor's garage a lot. So what happened? So I had YouTube videos, and I had a 1 million view video before Trevor ever did. So Trevor was doing YouTube in the shop. So what happened was me and him rented the shop originally together. So me and him rented it together. It wasn't Trevor's shop, and I was just over there. So the thing that happened was me and him rented the shop together. I had projects over there. I was working on stuff, and I started doing some, I did some YouTube videos. I was already doing YouTube videos when I was at my house before I got the shop with him. I mean, they weren't great, and obviously his videos weren't great either. So that was a long time ago. That was in 2014. I think it was 2014, something like that. So then we got the shop together. Everything started off great. It always does. So then, I could do a YouTube video of, all this stuff, but started off great. Then it was more like the only time Trevor would bother you is when he wanted something. And he'd only send you links to stuff he wanted you to buy so that he could use it. So then, like, all the equipment in the shop, the lifts, I bought 2 lifts, I bought a bunch of tools, I bought the tire machine, I bought like all this stuff. And, and then the funny thing is, and then I got the job working at Cummins as an engineer. I moved out to Minnesota, and I was there, I don't know, for almost 5 years. Then I come back, and like the whole thing like changes. So the whole time me and him had the shop together, he was using all my tools. So then I come back and I start helping him out, and I'm like, well, I'll help you do this YouTube thing. And he wants to, look at this Supra up in, I think it was Chicago, somewhere close to Chicago. So then we go up to Chicago. He doesn't want to buy the Supra because it's a piece of shit. I convinced him to buy the Supra. His YouTube channel only had 10,000 subscribers at the time. So then we get the Supra project. We redo the Supra. After like the first month, his channel goes from 10,000 subscribers to like 150,000 subscribers in like a week. And then he gets like this big head, and he's like, oh, well, it's my shop, it's my channel. I have all this worth, but nobody else does. And my time's more important than everybody else. So I was just like, whatever. So I'm helping him. And then we start doing the giveaways, and some stuff goes down, and, it just, I don't know. It was just like a big thing. But I didn't start doing YouTube because of Trevor. I helped him build his channel, and it was like the next progression was to start my channel and just do it full time, because I was already doing videos with him and giving him a bunch of ideas of, stuff that would go viral and stuff like that. So, it is what it is. I mean, would I have just got another engineering job if I never, helped Trevor with getting his channel to grow? Probably. But would Trevor's channel have grown if I, would have got that engineering job? Probably not. He probably would still have 10,000 subscribers, and, he probably would, be working at the power plant with his brother. So yeah, I mean, I really don't want to get into it too big, but there's so much more I just don't want to talk about. It just like snowballs into this huge thing I could talk about for like 2 hours and do a video of, and it probably get, 1 million views. But do I really want to do that? Probably not. I mean, it'd be nice for everybody to actually know the story, because it's kind of dicked, and, it's not just me. There's like 5 other people or 6 other people. So yeah, it is what it is. Let's see. What do you think about the Gen V Vipers? I mean, I think all the Vipers are pretty cool. The first ones were, they had that truck engine in them, so they're really heavy. But I don't know. Having a Viper, the only issue is I've never tried to sit in a newer Viper, but the older ones I can't fit in. So I don't know. I wouldn't mind having one, but I'd probably want to sit in a newer one before I bought one. Let's see. Twin turbo with a air to water intercooler. Let's see. Rooting for you, bro. Thanks. Why you call it a Charger than a Magnum? Because it's a wide body Charger. Worst thing you could do when doing a quick flip. I don't know. I feel like a lot of people think they could just buy cars and do quick flips, and there's a lot of different things you can do. I mean, a lot of people just buy cars and clean them up and then resell them for a couple thousand more, which is, a great thing to do. But the issue with doing quick flips is, and why I don't really sell a lot of cars unless I'm trying to get rid of something, because I buy a lot of cars to do YouTube videos, and I buy most of my stuff to keep. But every once in a while I have to get rid of stuff because I don't need an extra truck. I don't need, this or that. I've finished doing something in a car, let's say the GTO or the Hellcat or any of those things, and I really need a garage, the garage space. I've been driving it for a year or two, and then I'll sell it. But the issue with doing like quick flips is you need like a dealer's technically you need like to have a dealer's license depending on the state you're in. So eventually, if you're selling cars as like to sell cars and do quick flips as like a business, then it could come back to bite you. So and that's why I don't really do that. I could do really quick videos of getting a car, fixing it and flipping it, but then you're like, well, then I need a dealer's license and you need all this stuff, and yeah, it's just a nightmare. Then you have to have dedicated hours so people can come look at your cars, and it just snowballs into this big thing that I don't want to have to deal with, and because I don't really have time to sit here and entertain customers that want to tire kick all day long. Let's see. Any thoughts on the two banks in the USA closing down? So well, that one is the whatever it was in Silicon Valley, but I feel like I feel like it's going to be more than two banks. I feel like if you're in any larger, my mom always tells me to tell people like, this is not financial advice, but I'm not really giving advice. But I feel like it's going to be a lot of the larger banks. It's going to be like every bank that got bailed out in 2008, it's going to be all those banks again. And there's no money. There's no money for the government to bail them out, because the one bank that already went under is already going to drain out the FDIC. Is it the FDIC? So if any other ones close, like anybody that's money is like just gone, like that bank lost your money, you're like screwed. So, and I try to keep some money on hand, and I have, I could, if I need to barter with somebody, I could barter, because I could do pretty much anything. But if it comes down to that, but I would probably keep your money in like a kind of like a local bank, or some is a bank that's not connected to like these huge banks, because man, I don't know, they're making a lot of bad decisions with people's money that's not theirs. And I think that's exactly how they've been buying up all these houses that they're talking about BlackRock and all these and all these entities. But I feel like they're taking people's money, buying up all these, all this real estate, and then trying to cover that with government bonds, which is so illegal, so illegal. But only time's going to tell. Hi from Iraq. What's going on? Are you going to make it to SEMA this year? Yeah, hopefully. I hope I do. Let's see. And a Chrysler 300. Ever thought about hiring a helper? So I have thought about hiring one, but the issue is finding somebody that's reliable. They'll come and work, and then they have to be, a lot of people that'll come and help you aren't very careful. So most of the stuff that I really don't, the Jeep, the Grand Prix, stuff like that before it gets painted, or like when it's in like the build stage or something I really don't care too much about, that's fine to have somebody help me with, but and like the average person that's going to come help. But then hiring somebody that's careful, like if I had somebody help me with a charger, and then they like don't pay attention, they scratch the car, they drop something on it. I mean, when I'm working around the charger, I'm very careful. So, yeah, it's just really hard. And then having somebody said that I should hire somebody to organize, and that's pretty hard too, because you almost have to coach them so they know where to put stuff. And then if they put stuff somewhere and then you don't know where it's at, you're just like, well, where the hell did this go? I have no clue where it's at. So it's pretty difficult. It's almost like I need to hire like a person, and then they like almost just run like the whole like shop almost. It'd be kind of like that situation. So they knew where everything was at and stuff like that. But yeah, it's definitely hard. I was asking Dave. What were you asking me? Oh, quick flip. "30 episodes is a lot, but any more people lose interest. I feel like people lose interest after like 15 seconds. 15 seconds. It's crazy. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, there's just so much stuff on like TikTok and Instagram, like really short stuff, but you're not getting much from it. Like I know wiring videos on the charger don't really show you how to wire the car, but you're seeing a lot more of what's going on in a video of like, a time lapse of wiring than, I don't know. To me, it has more base than just like, oh yeah, like this, and then, or I drop my car off at the shop, they put an exhaust on. Oh yeah, it sounds great. Like, yeah, but what happened in between that? So, no, just how I like my channel, I guess. Greetings from New Zealand. Love your work. Thanks, Patrick. Watch some Kale SRT uploads. He's doing well with his Hellcats because he's doing exactly what I did with my Magnum, and he just took that and they just bolt-in swaps. Kale's doing great. Don't get me wrong. I'm not hating on Kale, but at the end of the day, people commenting on my videos like Kale SRT could do this faster and Kale SRT could do this. Kale SRT, his whole channel for the past, I don't know, year, 2 years, is the exact same build in different cars. I'm putting a Hellcat swap in a 300. I'm putting a Hellcat swap in a 300. I'm putting a Hellcat swap in a Magnum. He's doing the same exact build. You know how easy it is to throw a Hellcat swap in a Magnum? I could do the engine and drivetrain in like 30 minutes to an hour. The wiring in another hour. And it's just like, to me, it's crazy that people are so pumped about that over like a fully custom build. And it's because it's faster, because they have zero patience, and they have like zero attention span. It's just crazy. So yeah, his channel's doing great, but he's done like 50 of the same exact builds. Yeah. And then he doesn't even paint them. He buys brand new bumpers and he wraps cars with like multicolored cars. And he's like, oh, it's wrapped. It's done. I'm selling it for $100,000 to a wrapper. Be like, I'd be ashamed if I sold a car to somebody and it had like unpainted bumpers and stuff under a wrap. So I don't know. It's, he's doing great, but I mean, and I have nothing against him. I just think it's funny that people don't realize those things I just said. It's just crazy. Let's see. Use a Magnum to take to Cletus and Cars burnout. Get your name out there more. Yeah. SRT, those aren't close to what Dave is building. Thanks. Thought on huge success Sarah Entune achieved with her channel. She exploded in views and influence lately. Would be dope to see you achieve the same and get that YouTube money for bigger projects. Yeah, that'd be nice. I mean, I talk to Sarah all the time. She wants me to come out there and help her. So I might do that. I mean, I need to go to Florida next month. I messaged Tavares to see if he wanted to meet up. I haven't heard anything back. So we'll see. I mean, and another thing is I'm going to be going to Florida in like the beginning of next month. So if anybody wants to meet up in Orlando or anywhere on the way back to Colorado, I'll, DM me so I know where to stop. Yeah. And then we could do I could look at people's cars, their projects. I mean, whatever it may be. I have no timeline, but the 7th of next month, I'll be in Orlando to pick a car up. So yeah. This is one of a kind. So what's the plan for the VR4? So once the charger's done, I want to get the stuff painted for the VR4 and finally get her put back together. And then once she's back together, I could drive her around. Then I want to do a big single turbo on it. Then I'm probably going to end up having to build the engine because it's going to blow up. I'm not sure what's going to blow up first, the engine or the transmission or the transfer case. But, then I could have, some fun with the car. I really don't drive it because it's not all the way put back together. Really nice car. I just want to, get this charger. This thing has been I've said it in a video, it's like killing me. I just want it done. I'm waiting for all these companies to send me all this stuff. Most of the stuff I've bought and already paid for and just waiting for it. I mean, like the front drive shaft, waiting for that thing. I mean, it has to be almost coming on a year and a half now from when I ordered them. And I have the rear one's great, perfect drive shaft. I mean, I want the front one to be the same exact quality. Like the quality of the place is top notch. The timeline is like a negative top notch, whatever top notch negative would be. But yeah, so let's see. Motivation. I need to get motivated to swap my Mazda SRT. Will you make it to SEMA this year with the Magnum? I should be able to, as long as I have a spot to put it in. Okay, looking forward to seeing that VW Golf tidied up, cool and rare. Yeah, so I need to get, I've been putting that off too, but I have everything pretty much ready to wire that thing up. So I just need to get that thing done, get it to start up, and then I'll be out of the shop, which I'm going to be so happy about. Don't worry about it. Just keep on doing what you're doing. Enjoy your content. Thanks. I sold a Suzuki, cost 1.5K, sold for 10K. Man, that's not bad. Start shipping you some Suzuki Samurais. Love your Dodge build, but missed quite a bit of video. Where can I watch the whole build? So all you have to do is go onto my channel, and there's like a whole series. it's like a build, like it says, I think it says, man, I think it says like Hellcat Magnum or something like that, but it's a whole, like, every video is in that. And hopefully, I mean, once, what my hopes are is once the car is done, everybody, because it's going to bring a lot of people to the channel, hopefully everybody goes into there that like they did my Hellcat videos and my Magnum videos, and then they just like binge that. So and that's pretty much the hope. So would you EV swap a sock so I can follow how to do it, please? Yeah, I mean, I want EV swap something, but I'm still waiting on all the stuff to do that. So once I get all the stuff, I'll show how to do the Tesla drive unit. People overpricing used cars has screwed over a lot of people that need vehicles. Yeah, it's crazy because a lot of people are in all these cars now like they were houses, and the cars aren't even worth as much as they bought them for. How are you doing today? I'm not doing bad. Pretty good. Just trying to get some stuff done. Once they've lost your money, the banks, it's not like they can find it. Yeah, I mean, once those banks go out of business or go under, I mean, if you have money in them, you're screwed. You know, like, so screwed. Yeah, printing money is not the answer. I don't know why. I don't want to get into it. I just don't know. Like, I can't buy a money printing machine and print $130 billion and then just buy everybody a Hellcat. Like, that's not how it works. I mean, why? This doesn't make sense. Why are we sending? Yeah, I don't know. It's just stupid. So when the Hellwagon is done, when are you racing boosted motorsports Hellcota? I mean, that'd be kind of a cool race. Any suggestions of where to pick up secondary parts, engines? Seems like Craigslist isn't the best anymore. Love the content. Thanks. Yeah, it's crazy. I've almost been thinking about making like a new website to like a Craigslist, but not like a Craigslist, but not a Facebook. Because the one thing I hate about Facebook Marketplace is if you look at something. So let's say I look at something, I want to look up like Hellcat engines, and there's one close by, but my friend is also looking up Hellcat engines, and he never even knows that there's a Hellcat engine. Or it's just crazy that I just want a website that you look something up, and if there's 600,000 pages of shit, it shows you those 600,000 pages. Like, and then you could actually sort through it. So let's say I want stuff that's like 50 miles away from me. On Facebook Marketplace, I put distance, 50 miles, and it's showing me stuff in Texas and Florida, like New York, California. I'm like, and then it's showing me like ads from like eBay and all this shit that I don't want to see. And it's just like, why is it showing me this crap? It's 50 miles, like, by owner. It just, it just irritates the shit out. It irritates me so bad. So I rarely use Facebook. Craigslist is like a ghost town. So, and then pretty much all the other stuff, OfferUp and all that other stuff, is just like garbage too. So I don't know. Maybe I should just bite the bullet and do it. Because it'd be nice to actually be able to look stuff up and find stuff and then buy it and not have like this big issue. And then Facebook, you have, yeah, it's, just bought a 2001 EX automatic, 300,000 miles, man. Also, do you and John from Boosted Motorsports talk? I've never talked to that guy. Sweet or unsweetened tea? I have to have sweetened tea, but if I'm in the South, I have to have unsweetened tea because man, that stuff, it's like it's like I'd rather drink a bottle of maple syrup than have sweet tea in the South because it's so sweet. It's thick. Like yeah. But sweet tea everywhere else. And then I'll like in the South I'll get unsweetened tea and have everybody look at me weird and then add sugar to it. So I'm not gonna get diabetes after one thing of tea. Will you sell the Charger or any of them? So no, I don't plan on selling the Charger unless I get like a crazy offer. I would sell my Challenger Hellcat for 55,000, which is a pretty reasonable price. It's it has 10,000 miles. It's runs and drives great. I mean, it's all stock besides that AAD catch can. It's never been turned up. I mean, it's always been taken care of. It was wrecked. It has a rebuilt title, but I mean, you can watch the whole series of how it got rebuilt. It wasn't like some goon squad thing where they straightened a kinked frame rail out and hammered it a bunch and heated it up, and then we're like, oh yeah, it's good to go. It's all brand new stuff. So yeah, if you're interested in a Challenger, or I'll probably end up, I don't know if I'm going to sell the GTO or not. Maybe eventually. The GTO is pretty nice. It needed a radiator. I ordered one. I should have it in sometime. I don't know. I'd say sometime next week or something. But I was thinking like 17.5 for the GTO, and it's really clean inside. I put those new door panels in it. It doesn't have any interior issues. The radio inside of it's kind of, I would put a different one in it, but it works. I don't know. But if they don't sell, I really need garage space. Once the Charger's done, like the GTO in the challenge, like the Charger needs 2 garage spaces. I'm just going to park the Charger in the center of the garage, and whatever's like in those spots is going to be sitting outside once the Charger's done. So, I'm in Florida, Central East Coast. When you are here, let's meet for a beer and I can pick your brain. Yeah, I mean, I'm flying into Orlando me and my friend Chris are flying into Orlando, and we're getting a car. So yeah, just DM me on Instagram. I mean, it's probably the easiest way to figure out. I need to kind of figure out a schedule. I wouldn't mind looking at people's projects. I wouldn't even mind helping people with projects along the way, but I would like to have stuff set up. I mean, I tried to do this when I went to New York, and then I literally had this guy flake on me after I drove to almost to New Hampshire. And I was like, oh, well, I was like coming up to like help you with your project for a day. And then, yeah, it's just, I don't know. So if you DM me on Instagram, be like ready, I guess. Saw a new Dodge Hornet GT in the Oklahoma City Auto Show. Engine was packed in there very tight with hardly any space to work on it. So most of the Dodge stuff, even the Hellcats, it's pretty difficult to work on them. They're pretty tight in there. But all that stuff, I just plan on dropping it. If I need to do anything, I mean, even doing headers is almost easy. Like doing headers is easier to drop the engine down. But yeah, that's probably their plan, is just to like everybody to just drop the engine, or nobody to actually work on them in the first place, other than the dealers, or just have them be like throwaway cars. Is pretty much what all the OEs are going towards, is just throwaway cars instead of having stuff that you keep. I saw an article that they almost want you to just lease all the cars and you never own them, and you never work on them, you never change the oil. It's just all under leases. You don't own anything, which I would never, I would myself would never have anything to do with that. Um, like the businesses that, so my mom got pizza a couple nights ago, and she said, "Oh yeah, Pizza Hut, they don't take cash." And I was like, "Why'd you buy pizza there?" And she's like, "Well, I was already there." I was like, "I would have left and got pizza from somewhere that takes cash. Like any place that won't take cash, I don't go there. Like not happening." So, um, yeah, I don't know. I guess I'm just maybe old. I'm getting old. Maybe this is the start of being an old man. I sold a 2007 Magnum SRT with 120K on it for 13.5. Salvage title too. Not bad. That's really not bad. Hellcat Durango build. So yeah, the Hellcat Durango is I don't know, probably gonna come back in the end of next month, I'd say. Maybe a little bit sooner. We'll see. I want to spray the bay and the interior. Want to give it some time to actually cure a little bit before I throw carpet and stuff in the seats and all that crap in there. So maybe a little bit sooner, but yeah, I need to get that thing running and driving. I have a good, I probably could do a good 3 to 5 videos. I think I have 3 to 5 videos of parts. I still don't have everything, but let's see. You see where the 6 Hellcats were stolen in under 40 seconds. Yeah, my friend Chris sent me a link to that, and all the keys. He said that all the keys were in the cars. Let's see. You, Boosa Motorsports, and Saab Kyle by far are some of the best channels out there. Just some awesome projects with some awesome regular dudes that know what they are doing. Best kind of channels. Thanks. Got to be sweet, but I agree. I hate it over sweetened. I mean, if it gets to the point where the tea is like thick, it's way too much sugar. I mean, I forgot where I was at. It was somewhere in Tennessee, and I was like, yeah, I'll have sweet tea. And I got some. I was just like, holy shit, this is like thick. I was like, what did you make this with? So, would you do a build for someone or not? So yeah, I would do a build. Guessing it's pertaining to like a Hellcat swap in like a Charger or a Magnum or any of those. But depending what it is, the price is gonna vary. So, but yeah, I'll do a build. I've had many people reach out to me, and they never really follow through. And then they try to do it themselves. I've had a lot of people with Magnums do this. So I tell people with Magnums that I'll do, they need a Charger Hellcat as a donor car, and they need a Magnum. And $10,000 for labor, and I'll swap everything over. There's some wiring that has to be done. Some stuff has to be modified for the hatch wiring and etc. And then I never hear from them. And then probably, 4-6 months goes by, and then they message me again, and they're like, "Oh, well, can you give me some pointers because my car doesn't start now. I can't get this to work. This isn't working. That's not working." And it's like they just want, they already messed everything up. They already cut a bunch of the harness. This one guy was like, "Oh yeah, I cut the dash harness and this and that." And I'm like, you didn't need to cut the dash harness. It plugs in. And then it's just like a nightmare. And then they're like, how much to fix it? And it's just like, well, now it's probably going to be $15,000 to fix it because now I have to figure out what you did to it. So I don't know. It depends on what it is, but if it's going to be a Hellcat swap into a Chrysler product like, Charger, Challenger, Magnum, 300C, etc., it's probably going to be $10,000 labor. So plus the cars. Let's see. Did you see the video of the stolen 6 Hellcats? Yep, saw it. New Mexico Love, best channel and builds on YouTube. Thanks a lot. Amber Garcia. Let's see. What about a Jeep build or something like that? So I have the Jeep that I put a rough country lift on it. I did a build on a Jeep. I just need to go take it four-wheeling and probably get some bigger wheels and tires because the I think it has 15-inch or maybe 16-inch wheels on it right now, and they kind of rub. So I need to get different ones. That's mostly the reason I haven't taken it four-wheeling. What would you sell the GTO for? So I would probably sell the GTO for like 17.5, and I've seen those things sell for like 20 and like to 25,000, but it needs some paint work, which it's not bad at all. And it has, what did it have? Did it have like, I can't remember the mileage. It was like 75,000 miles or like 90,000. It was like, no, 85,000 miles. It has low miles, but yeah, it has the big Texas speed cam. It has bigger injectors. It has a tune, it has a built transmission. It has a drive shaft. It has poly engine mounts. It's going to have aluminum radiator. It has the factory fans, some new ones of those. It'll have silicone radiator hoses. What else did I do to that thing? Oh, it has 660 springs, CNC heads. It has all the correct push rods that were measured out. I don't know. It has headers, full 3-inch exhaust. It has a bunch of stuff, but yeah, I don't know. It's a pretty nice. It has those Foose wheels. They're garbage. You're probably gonna want to get different ones, but it runs and drives with them. So let's see. I second that. Thanks. You're probably better at working on Hellcats than a Dodge dealer tech. Yeah, I would say that I'm probably a lot better at working on Hellcat. I almost thought about offering like a Hellcat service because I'm sure there's a bunch of people that want to do pulleys, want to do this and that on their Hellcats. And I could do them, I could do that stuff all day long and it'd be easy. So I thought about doing that and doing like, one car a week, maybe if I had one car a week and, I don't know, doing Hellcat stuff because I've already done so much of it and I have spare parts if I need something or something like that. So it kind of would make sense. But the issue is, Facebook Marketplace, you can't post I'm offering like Hellcat repair services anymore because they flag it. So, do you garage the Super Duty? How is it holding up to the storms? So I leave my truck parked outside and I need to go through it because last year they were building a bunch of houses and it literally got like sandblasted by all these piles of sand, and there's like 100 mile an hour wind, and it was just sandblasted the crap out of my truck. So I haven't really messed with it, and I need to because I want to get it, looking good again. But I've been working on the Charger, and it's like, it runs and drives. It's on the bottom of the list, but I need to put new front tires on it eventually, probably in the next couple months. And I need to do a track bar. I want to get an aftermarket one and a steering bar so I can get everything aligned before I put the new tires on. And I'm probably going to get upgraded ones of those because the factory ones are really sloppy. So that's why I asked, because I know what you put into it and it'll be a hell of a car for me to have. I mean, if you're interested in it, just DM me on Instagram. I mean, it's just been sitting in my garage for since I've took it to the drag strip the last time. I have a 2016 Ram 1500 and the governor shots me down at 105. What can I do to take that off for more speed? Um, I mean, I think they have like little like chip things. What is the 8 HP would you hold on, would you use with a 6.1? Not a fan of the nag. So I don't know how you tune it. I'm guessing you probably could do, I mean, you probably could do like a 6.4 ECU and tune the transmission, or have, it could use the 8 HP 90 transmission or 70 transmission, I think is what comes in the 6.4. But yeah, they're really, really good transmissions. It's crazy how good those autos are compared to what they were 10 years ago. Do you do anything special to the cars that's just sitting around, like starting them once a month? I really am not a fan of starting a car once a month. If I'm going to start it, I'm going to drive it, because if you just start a car, let it idle for, let's say, I don't know, 5 to 10 minutes, it builds up hydrogen sulfide in the oil, because it's not actually getting hot enough to burn, and it's also like adding moisture into oil because it's not getting, you're not going through a full run cycle. So it's worse to start your car up for, like, let's say like 10 to 15 minutes than it is to just leave it and not start it for like the entire winter, because it's not going through a full heat cycle. If you let it sit there and idle for probably half an hour, I even think at half an hour, it probably still wouldn't get through like a full heat cycle. Like everything wouldn't get like fully heated up, because when you're driving it, it's like a whole different scenario of what's going on. So like the transmission and all that stuff. Did you stop using liquid moly? What are your thoughts about this product? No, I think liquid moly is good. I reached out to them, and they were like, I reached out to them because I talked to them at SEMA, and they were like, we're not interested in working with you because we get inquiries about this all the time. And I was just thinking, like, I'm pretty sure you probably don't get inquiries from people that get like millions of views a month. Like, this was very interesting. So I feel like the person that sent the email didn't even like look at any of my information. So, which isn't that big of a deal, because all I use is their anti-friction stuff in my car, which they came out with the new ceramic stuff, or in my truck, they came out with the new ceramic stuff, which I tried in my truck, and I don't know. I really don't know how you can tell if it's working or if it's not. So my truck didn't blow up. I've been using the anti-friction other stuff for a very long time, and it seems like it works, but I don't know how to tell the difference because I haven't, pulled an engine apart that I was using it in. So, yeah, I mean, I think it's good stuff and I use it, but yeah. So I'm going to end the video here. It's been a little bit over an hour, and I should have a video out of the steering shaft stuff tomorrow on YouTube. So check that out. But thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you guys hopefully next week.